This is going to be a quick walkthrough on procedures for turning the EM61-MK2 on, and then walking through some basic software setup procedures on the MESA3 tablet, just to get yourself operational. First of all, we turn this is the EM61 electronics console, and to power it on, we push in the push-pull circuit breaker, so that powers on the console, and you can see that it's powered on, or you pull it out to power it off. Now there's a second mechanism for turning the console on and off, so let's power it on. So powered on, we have on the back side what we call the master-slave switch. Right there, master-slave switch, which will be turned on or off. In the slave mode, the console is off, as you can hear. In the master mode, it's on. So let's leave it on. You can see we have the coil to console cable, right? Running from the coil to the console. Then we have the serial cable running from the console to the MESA tablet. And then we have the power cable from the battery connected to the power receptacle of the console. Now that it's on, we can start up the logging software. And that would be the EM61 Win program. There it is. You see the options. Now this particular console is connected to the tablet via COM port 4. As you can see under system setup, it says EM61-MK2 port, and next to it COM 4. And currently we have the GPS input disabled because I'm not using one. So this is just to, like I said, walk through the options of the MESA tablet with the EM61. So this is the main menu. First step would be to set up your survey setup. Here are your survey setup options. Currently we have it set to automatically collect data at 18 hertz or 18 readings a second. Now if you're using GPS, if you're collecting data with a GPS, obviously you don't need to worry about the rest of these settings. So let's leave it at 18 readings per second. Now we move to system setup. System setup, this is important because we have to select the EM61 type. And you have standard or high power. We're using the standard system. This is a standard system. So we select standard. The coil size is 1/2. That's correct. And now we see serial ports connections. As I said, the serial port connection COM 4 is currently set to communicate between the MESA tablet and the console by cable. If you were using Bluetooth, it would be a different port. And the GPS port is COM 8, but we're not using that currently for this demonstration. Now, with the instrument on, if you want to observe the readings, all you have to do is select logging. And you'll see the readings appear shortly. The system is just normalizing. And you can see the readings for each channel, channel 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the other parameters. So, at this point, if you were outdoors in an area clean of other metals, you'd want to do a 0 to achieve your background level. Because I'm indoors, the readings are extremely high, reading thousands for each channel. But if you're outdoors and you're in a clean spot, this is the point at which you would do your null procedure. So you'd select null to zero the readings out. And you see that after I selected null, it's nulling. It takes a while, and now the readings, although I'm indoors, it has just reduced all the readings from thousands to close to zero. At this point, if you're ready to collect data, you select File. Another screen opens up where you can enter a file name. By default, we use today's date, but you can put whatever you want as a name. Once you enter that, you now have a file that has been saved, and you'll notice you'll have new options because the software is ready to start collecting data. So at this point, if I want to begin collecting data, I simply select Go, and as you'll see, as you can hear, it's updating readings. And it's literally collecting response. Now there's nothing under the coils, so we don't see any real data right now, but we can generate some high readings so that we can observe that. So we just place the target under the coil so that you can observe what happens as the data was recorded over that target. I'm stationary, just sitting in a spot, so that represents the target as it was placed under the coils. Now at some point, if I want to pause, I select pause, and that would be technically at the end of my data collection line. If that was the only line I was collecting data with, I would simply exit and the data would be saved in a file at this point. But if you wanted to continue, or if you're collecting GPS data, of course, you would just continue collecting data and it would be one long continuous line. At any point, once you're finished collecting data, of course, all you have to do is exit the program and all the data will be saved. One more thing to show you here currently, as you can see, the plot, the anomaly that you see is displayed as a very low anomaly on the screen. That's because the scale that we are using, if you look at the scale, it's 0 to 2000, and that's so the readings are maybe as high as 1,000. Once again, we're indoors, but you can change the scale over here, scale readings, select that, and instead of having a scale from 0 to 2000, maybe we'll go We'll go 0 to 1000. And you notice how the anomaly that placing that target over the coil appears much bigger. So in cases where you expect your readings to be in a completely different range and you want to have a visual on those readings, you may want to adjust that scale as you're collecting the data. Now there are some other options and properties for the thickness of the profile, but this demonstration doesn't include that. You can follow how to do that within the manual, but this at least gets you a start as to how to collect the data and see it on screen. So hopefully that's been of some help.